Well, we're very excited that Bitcoin now is in the ETF wrapper and therefore very accessible at very low prices. What we do have, and there was speculation beforehand, will this be a sell on the news? We said yes, and then we were hearing that so much that we thought, well, maybe not. Well, it turns out that FTX is, I guess it's nearly $1 billion in GBTC, has been sold as this Bitcoin, as the Bitcoin ETF has come out. And I think that's been part of the pressure. I do think there's sell on the news because I think some people expected it to hold a little more than it has. But this has not disturbed our point of view at all. We think this is one of the most important investments of our lifetimes. This is a global rules-based monetary system.
The cryptocurrency market has been eagerly anticipating the arrival of spot-based exchange-traded funds, ETFs, for some time now. And it seems that the wait for a Solana spot ETF may soon be over. Well, fasten your seatbelts. In this video, we'll dive into the details of this highly anticipated development and explore what it could mean for investors and the broader Solana crypto space. Before we continue, please, if it isn't any trouble, subscribe and smash that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the craziest info we have on crypto. A Solana spot ETF is a type of exchange-traded fund that would track the price of the Solana cryptocurrency. Unlike the existing Bitcoin and Ethereum futures-based ETFs, a Solana spot ETF would hold the actual Solana tokens in its portfolio, providing investors with direct exposure to the underlying asset. This distinction is significant, as spot ETFs are generally seen as more closely reflecting the true market price of the cryptocurrency.
Do you think is there an application for blockchain that involves something that Bitcoin does not lead the world with? Is there something else that you'd put in here?
Sure. The reason we have focused as much on Ether, Ethereum as we have is we think, that is the smart contract network. That is the decentralized finance network.
So Bitcoin and Ether, anything beyond that?
Well, there are infrastructure players. Solana is doing a really good job. I mean, if you look at Ether was faster and cheaper than Bitcoin in the day. That's how we got Ether. Solana is even faster and cost-effective than Ether. So, there are infrastructure plays. We do believe Web3, digital assets. That's a big idea, actually. Digital assets with property rights.
The introduction of a Solana spot ETF could have several important implications. First, it would increase accessibility. A Solana spot ETF would make it easier for mainstream investors to gain exposure to the Solana ecosystem, potentially driving broader adoption and investment. Another implication is the potential liquidity boost. By attracting institutional capital, a Solana spot ETF could increase the overall liquidity of the Solana market, potentially leading to more stable prices and reduced volatility. Finally, it could serve as validation for the Solana project.
Is Solana the next ETF to be approved by the SEC? This is an interesting question, and of course it's going to have ripple effects all the way through the Solana price chart. We have seen a breakout here for Solana in the last few weeks. Now we have had this downward trend line that we broke out of on the 4th of May, retesting, and we broke above the 50 simple moving average here on the 15th of May, testing it back on the 16th. We rallied up a fair chunk and have started to move back down again. So there was definitely a previous area of resistance at around 162.45. This is the area that we were looking to break out from because it prevents us from moving down to this lower range here at 95.2 to 107.60. We had a kind of 5-wave movement to the downside that takes us lower than the 200-day exponential moving average. And what we needed to do was break up above this area here, okay, that 162.45, in order order to confirm that that's not going to happen. And that's exactly what we saw. So this great breakout situation here for Solana, but we of course have started to see a little bit of negative price action.
The approval of a Solana spot ETF by regulatory bodies would be a significant milestone, signaling the growing maturity and acceptance of the Solana blockchain technology.
Approvals were greenlit, and we've seen shares of ETFs, including ARC21 shares Bitcoin ETF.
The approval process for crypto-based ETFs has been slow and complex, with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission taking a cautious approach.
In a surprise turn, ETFs in the second largest cryptocurrency, Ethereum, have been approved for listing on stock exchanges. Now, once trading begins, billion-dollar funds are expected to flow into the market. Our An Sung-jin brings the latest.
However, recent developments suggest that the SEC may be warming up to the idea of a Solana spot ETF. Several firms, including Grayscale and Valkyrie, have filed applications with the SEC to launch Solana spot ETFs. While none of these proposals have been approved yet, the fact that they are under consideration indicates a positive sign for the Solana ecosystem. The SEC has been cautious in approving crypto-based ETFs, citing concerns over market manipulation, liquidity, and investor protection. Although the regulator has approved Bitcoin and Ethereum futures-based ETFs, it has yet to approve a spot-based ETF for any cryptocurrency.
The Securities and Exchange Commission delayed its decision on spot Bitcoin ETF applications.
The SEC's hesitation is understandable, given that the crypto market is still relatively young and volatile. However, the agency has been under increasing pressure from industry players and investors to provide clarity and a path forward for spot crypto ETFs. Several leading financial firms have applied to the SEC for Solana spot ETFs, despite the regulatory challenges. Grayscale Investments, a well-known asset manager famous for its Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, has filed an application to convert its Grayscale Solana Trust into a spot-based ETF. Valkyrie Investments, the firm that already offers a Bitcoin futures ETF, has also applied for a Solana spot ETF. Additionally, CoinShares, the European digital asset manager, has submitted a filing with the SEC for a Solana spot ETF named the CoinShares Solana ETF. These applications, although not yet approved, indicate the increasing institutional interest and demand for a Solana-based spot ETF product. The possible introduction of a Solana spot ETF has generated a lot of excitement, but there are still several challenges and risks to consider. Similar to the broader cryptocurrency market, the Solana market is known for its high volatility, which could pose risks for investors in a Solana spot ETF. Safely storing and securing the Solana tokens held by the ETF is a critical challenge that issuers must address to ensure the fund's integrity. Additionally, the regulatory landscape for crypto-based ETFs is uncertain, and any changes in the SEC's stance or new regulations could impact the feasibility of a Solana spot ETF. Although the potential launch of a Solana spot ETF would be a major milestone for the Solana ecosystem and the broader cryptocurrency market, the uncertainty of the regulatory approval process remains. However, the increasing institutional interest and the potential benefits of such a product suggest that a Solana spot ETF could be a game changer for investors and the Solana community. Investors need to stay informed and closely monitor the progress of these applications as we await further developments. Alright guys, Solana spot ETF is the next big thing to happen. But don't forget to do your own research and find opportunities for yourself. And once you have, let's talk. Hit me up in the comments with your thoughts on your own opinion on these Solana spot ETFs, or anything else crypto related. As always, thanks for watching.